everyone, welcome back here to Harvest.247. We're so glad you decided to check us out today. Harvest exists so that all people may know Jesus and grow with Him. If you would do us a favor, click that subscribe button right down there. And you can also go on Facebook and Instagram, Harvest.247. You can like and follow our pages there. You can get more content, more information about our church, or just see what's going on. We would love for you to follow us. Also, you can go on any way that you get your podcast. We got Behind the Harvest podcast. You can get it on Google Play. You can get it on Apple. You can also get on Spotify. We'd love for you to go check that out. We take you behind the scenes, a little bit of church plant. We talk about some theology. We talk about some end time stuff. So if you're interested in that, that might be a conversation you would want to hear. And of course, we are right in the middle of a series called More to the Story. And the reason that we're calling it More to the Story is because we are going through kind of our mission and our core values here at Harvest, and we're talking about, hey, there's more to the story than what you hear. There's a reason behind why we made those our core values. There's a reason behind our philosophy of church. There's a reason behind our mission. And so this is an opportunity, as we have just celebrated our 1 year, to kind of bring people behind the curtain, if you will, drill down hard on those, and so people can understand who we are and what we are about. And today we're going to talk about everybody's favorite topic, and that's gossip. And gossip runs rampant. As a matter of fact, we even made a TV show for it. It's called TMZ, and it's all about just gossip. What's going on with this person? What's going on about that person? And guess what? We all love to tune into it. And so we know that we have a heart and a mind that has the propensity to go towards gossip, move towards gossip, want to know what's going on over here. Let me tell you a story over here. And we're all guilty of it, and we've all had it done to us. But Jesus says something really, really strong in Matthew 12, 34 through 37, that I think helps us understand why gossip is a issue. And so, and it's more than just what effect it has, it's just where it's coming from. And this is what he says, and he's saying this to the religious people. He's not saying this to the unreligious. He's saying it to the religious people. He says, "You brood of vipers, how can you speak good when you are evil? For out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. The good person out of his good treasure brings forth good, and an evil person out of his evil treasure brings forth evil. I tell you, on the day of judgment, people will give an account for every careless word they speak." So even if you don't mean to do it, we're having to give an account. By your words, you will be justified, and by your words, you will be condemned. In a sense, he's saying, listen, our words reveal what's in our heart. When we speak something, even if we didn't mean to, a lot of times our words they are going to reveal what is in our heart. Jesus says in Matthew 15, everything that comes out of the mouth, it comes from the heart. And that's where envy and anger and lust and greed and all of these various things happen or lie. It is in the heart. So he talks about, look, what comes out of the mouth comes from the heart, and he's calling on the religious people. He's speaking to the religious people, Jesus is, and saying, listen, your words reveal your heart. So this message is for the church. Its view is not necessarily for people on the outside. Well, Jesus has kind of a half-brother, and his name is James. And James, he is known for just not holding back anything. If you want to just have a passage of scripture or a book just really read your mail and just come at you just like boom and hit you in between the eyes, read James. And he has some words about our words as well. He has some words about gossip. He has words about our tongue. And so we're going to read these and kind of unpack these a little bit at a time. James 3, 1 through 10, this is what he says. He says, "Not many of you should become teachers, my brothers, for you know that we who teach will be judged with greater strictness. For we all stumble in many ways, and if anyone does not stumble in what he says, he is a perfect man, able also to bridle his whole body." So what he's saying is that by not stumbling on our words, by not saying all things offhand, is a sign of true spiritual maturity. And so he's saying that when we stumble in our words about others and about our criticism with others and gossip and slander and cruelty and two-facedness and anger, or with flattery and sincerity, that those things are things that we are all going to be judged on, whether we do it consciously or whether we do it subconsciously, right? And so he's saying, guys, your words really do matter. And it echoes what Jesus said, that our words reveal what's in our heart. because it's showing us what is in our heart. And so James is like, look, you guys not many of us should be teachers because, man, we don't want to stumble over our words. And that actually a true sign of spiritual maturity is how someone is able to control their words, because if they can control their tongue and if they can control their words, then they are capable of controlling their entire body. He continues in verse 3, if we put bits into the mouths of horses so that they obey us, we guide their whole bodies as well. Look at the ships also. Though they are so large and are driven by strong winds, they are guided by a very small rudder, wherever the will of the pilot directs. So also the tongue is a small member, yet it boasts of great things. How great a forest is set ablaze by such a small fire. And the tongue is a fire, a world of unrighteousness. The tongue is set among our members, staining the whole body, setting on fire the entire course of life, and set on fire by hell. So, look, that is just right in your face. It's right in my face. It's right in all of our faces. That the tongue is something that's small, but it has the capability of sparking a great fire. It has the capability of causing great damage. It has the capability of being destructive. When we lived in Colorado, there was a massive, massive forest fire one summer, a ways from where we lived, but relatively, close. I mean, we could drive, out there. I mean, it'd take us, 40 minutes or so. And when they realized the cause of it, it was just because somebody flicked a little cigarette out the window. And then acres and acres, hundreds of acres of forest burned. That is a great example of what James is talking about. That our tongue is so small, but it has so much, it can create so much damage. It could set ablaze so many lives, destroy so many relationships, destroy people's perceptions of other people. And so we have to worry and we have to control our tongue. I like to be sarcastic, and even in writing this message, even with sarcasm, there's a grain of truth. And it's one of those things where it's like the Lord's like, man, you got to stop being so sarcastic, because even that can create in other people this perception of something, because sarcasm is always a grain of truth. And so we have to be so conscious of our tongue because it can create so much damage. Not only that, though, but it's our words that reveal our heart, right? If we're talking about somebody, if we're angry at somebody, whatever, it reveals what's in our heart. James continues in verse 7, for every kind of beast and bird, reptile and sea creature can be tamed and has been tamed by mankind. Watch this, verse 8, but no human being can tame the tongue. It is a restless evil full of deadly poison. With it we bless the Lord our Father and curse people who are made in the image and likeness of God. From the same mouth come blessing and cursing. My brothers, these things ought not be so. He's just stating a fact that we as believers, we will praise God with our mouth and turn around and destroy our brother or our sister with the exact same tongue. And James is saying, guys, it shouldn't be that way. It should not be that way. We should be people that are praying and seeking God to say, hey, help tame my tongue. Help tame my tongue, because we can't do it ourselves. But our words are going to reveal our heart. But James gives us, I think, a practical way that we can deal with this. And it's found in James 1:19. He says this, know this, my beloved brothers, let every person be quick to hear, slow to speak, and slow to anger. So he's saying, look, be quick to hear, be quick to hear, be quick to hear other people's perspective, be quick to understand, slow to speak, and slow to anger. When we do projects, especially when we first got married, Sarah would say her grandfather was a contractor and whatnot, and she would say to me, Papa always said, you measure twice and you cut once, okay? So you take extra careful time on the front end to measure it twice and cut once, because you don't want to do irreparable damage and you want to make sure that you're accurate. I think in that little saying, it gives us something that we can put in our mind about our tongue, and it's this: listen twice and speak once. Meaning, take twice amount of time to hear, Make sure we truly understand. Make sure we get the other side of the story. Make sure that we're really filtering it, and be cautious with how we speak. Speak once. Don't be in a rush to speak when we don't have the whole story. Don't be in a rush to speak when we don't know the entire person. Don't be in a rush to speak when we feel angry or jealous or something like that in our heart. So listen twice and speak once. Take twice the time to understand than you do to speak. The other practical thing is praises go out, concerns go up. If you're at work and you've got a concern, instead of going to the people that cannot do anything about it, go to the person who can do something about it. Praises go out. Yeah, Jennifer that's over here, man, I really love working with her. Dave over here, man, he's a really hard worker. And even though I have concerns about them, I'm not going to go tell all my other people. I'm going to go to the person who can solve it. I'm going to handle it. In the church, instead of talking behind people's back, praises go out, concerns go up. Go to the people who can actually resolve the problem, because if not, it's just gossip. And don't let your emotions control your speech. Remember, we listen twice and we speak once. If we become emotional with something, step back and take time. Step back and try to gain perspective. Step back and pray to the Lord and say, God, what am I missing here? Step back and don't allow our emotions to control our speech. Listen twice and speak once, because our words, our tongue is such a small thing that can cause so much damage. And James and Jesus both instruct us, guys, you gotta watch your speech. We gotta watch our speech. And so one practical way to do that, listen twice and speak once. Be quick to hear, slow to speak, and slow to anger, and it'll help out in a lot of situations. Hey, we're so glad you decided to join us today. We'll look forward to seeing you next week as we continue our More to the Story series. God bless you.